It's really the only way that I think showing people that the status quo is not acceptable anymore, and
Mm.
being someone who sort of leads by example is, I think, the only way I know to help promote that kind of mindset, that movement is medicine, and that you can train or move or do that fun activity in a way um, that it can be there for the rest of your life. And that's the big important piece of this all.
Because you were the sort of first person who had seen taking proper rehab and recovery and just being a healthier person to jiu-jitsu. Everybody else was like techniques and how to get ready for competitions. You took the whole approach of just being a better, healthier person to be better at your sport. And then as you dive into your website, you see the level you go into. I mean, it's phenomenal. The sports, the technique, you just cover everything and anything. But do you think that's why you've been so successful? You've had this philosophy of all the way well approach. This, you cover everything and not just slap an ice pack on it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I actually believe that's the big piece of this is that all the way well approach. The status quo, the services that are being provided out there in, I would say, the majority of physio settings, whether it's in the US or abroad, is one of attempting to keep up with the volume of people who need care. And that is an issue. There are not enough, I believe, next gen PTs is kind of what we call them, is people who can encompass the world of strength and conditioning right alongside the world of prehab, rehab, post-operative care. And then when you can do that in a way where you explain some of the difficult concepts, but in a way that's easy to understand, people really internalize that. And not
Hmm.
only does it make them better, but it also becomes a very cool little thing that I see when patients then reach back out to me and say things like, "Hey, I have a friend, and that friend has pain in this area. And I asked them these 4 questions that I know you would ask me, and I think they'd be a good candidate for what you do." And I'm like, "Oh, you know, that's more rewarding than that person just getting better, because I've also taught that person how to help others in their health seeking community, whether they get in touch with me or not. I don't really care. I just want them to get better." But just empowering people to do that and be on the lookout for ways they can help themselves and the ways that they can help those around them, man, that's freaking rewarding. That is the approach. It's different. It takes more effort. It's just harder to do, but I think it's the best way to do all this, and that's why I was put here.
Because you seem to have this like mission to be Mr. Health, Mr. Fix It, Mr. Rehab. I'm trying to think of a name that doesn't sound like you've come off Reservoir Dogs, but
Sure.
how do you think do you think this was a calling that you've always had? And because you've worked this from like your little side hustle into this global empire you're going to have soon.
Oh my,
You're going to
that
be like
is
the Darth
amazing to hear.
the Darth Vader of rehab. I think that you're
Yeah,
getting there.
yeah. Well, that's actually why I call myself like the Jedi, right? It's a joke name. It's purely tongue in cheek. It's about being playful. And I'm gonna go off on many tangents here, so you're gonna have to keep me on track. But
We're
you know,
screwed in that case.
yeah, I know it. Global empire, that's one way to say it. I have not thought about us in that way at all. But I do want to create a movement. I want to create. I had the chairperson of one of the local physical therapy programs in my office a couple weeks ago, and these are people that I work with, that I try to work with closely, because I believe that the change we need to see is at the grassroots level. It's when people go in to school, whether they're going to be an orthopedic surgeon, a chiropractor, a physical therapist, and I don't care what you want to do.